A volleyball coach accused of having sex with teenage players decades ago.
Parents are wondering why teams still play in his gym and why he is still around young girls.
The I-Team's Casey Geraldo explains some of them are suing the coach and his gym.
The lawsuit for more than $5 million in damages claims Great Lakes Center and Sports Performance Volleyball Club didn't give parents enough information about Rick Butler's sexual assault allegations. His accusers are now giving support to those parents, wondering why he was on the court with their kids.
Julie Romeo says she was a high school junior when the abuse began.
He started saying verbally inappropriate things.
She says she was too embarrassed to say anything. She says it got worse.
He pushed me down on the bed, held my hands above my head, and raped me.
Romeo says she was ashamed.
I felt like who was going to believe me anyway? He made it clear that he was very powerful.
Rick Butler owns one of the biggest volleyball clubs in the Midwest, Sports Performance Volleyball Club in Aurora, Illinois. Romeo and several other women came forward in the mid-1990s with sexual assault allegations against him. He was never charged because the statute of limitations has expired.
And while I couldn't change what he did to me, I was going to do everything in my power to try and prevent it from happening to a girl after me.
After that, USA Volleyball banned Butler from coaching junior girls at their events. However, Butler continued coaching. USA Volleyball says it doesn't have jurisdiction over events run by other groups, including the JVA and AAU, which did allow Mr. Butler to continue coaching junior girls in their programs, despite the USA Volleyball sanctions. In February of this year, after this lawsuit was filed, Amateur Athletic Union banned Butler, and the Junior Volleyball Association issued an indefinite suspension.
We drove the 2 hours down to Aurora to try to find Rick Butler and see what he has to say about the accusations. We're told he's not at the center, and we didn't find him at home.
Butler's attorney couldn't comment, but tells the I-Team this is a breach of contract case, and he is in the beginning stages of investigating those claims.
No, I think it's important at this point that people take a stand.
One way Romeo says people can do that is by taking away Butler's income. Each team in the Great Lakes Power League pays almost $1,500 to play at the Great Lakes Center. The I-Team identified 12 local teams from the latest standings who have played there, including Wisconsin Premier, Adversity Wisconsin, Motion Volleyball Program, River City Volleyball, and the Milwaukee Sting.
Have your teams played his teams?
Sure.
We talked to Sting coach Ted Schulte. Last year, he fired one of his coaches who was accused of sexual assault. He says his team is finishing out their contract to play in the Great Lakes Power League.
I'm comfortable with being there in the sense that no one is interacting with our players that I have any concerns with.
Schulte says he's disgusted by what Butler is accused of, but he says his job is to give his athletes good competition in a safe environment. He says Sports Performance turns out great players.
To play against his players, we have to play against their team. If we play at their facility, he gets money from that.
Schulte tells us college scouts traditionally recruit from the Great Lakes Center.
It could increase our costs because then we have to go some farther away to find better competition.
Volleyball parent Matt Jaworski disagrees. His daughter plays for a local volleyball club, and they don't play in Butler's league.
I certainly would not want my daughter to ever run the risk of coming in contact with somebody who's been accused of what Rick Butler has been accused of.
All the area teams we listed tell us they're reevaluating their plans to be part of the Great Lakes Power League for this coming season. There are other area teams who also play in the league according to its website. We weren't able to reach them for comment.